Hey, it's Dr. Taylor, Undergraduate Exercise Science Program Director and Associate Teaching Professor at the University of Kansas, and welcome to Fitness Facts. I have a question to discuss today that's frequently asked by students of mine and also clients I have trained. That question is, can you lose body fat and build muscle simultaneously while dieting in a caloric deficit? Many would say no, but contrary to popular belief, the answer is yes, you can. Now, there are a few specific conditions that research shows are needed for this to occur. First, to lose fat, place your body in a slight caloric deficit each day, but not an extreme one. To determine how many calories to consume per day, you will need to estimate what your total daily calorie needs are to maintain your current body weight. Laboratory testing can be done to determine daily caloric intake, or more commonly, equations such as the Mueller equation or Harris-Benedict equation can be used to calculate an estimate of your total daily calorie needs and overall energy expenditure. There are also online calculators you can use to estimate your total daily calorie needs. Once you determine the number of calories you need to consume daily to maintain weight, I recommend reducing your total caloric intake each day by no more than 500 calories to lose fat mass and not muscle. If you have a normal or close to low body fat percentage, I recommend a smaller daily caloric restriction. Reduce your intake by no more than 250 calories per day. Second, you must resistance train. If your body is in a caloric deficit and you are not resistance training, then you will lose both muscle and fat. Obviously, loss of lean tissue is not the goal here. Resistance training places a mechanical stress on your muscles that will act as a signal for your body to repair that tissue by increasing muscle protein synthesis, and this will allow for some muscle growth even in a caloric deficit. Speaking of protein, that brings me to my third condition. You need to keep your daily protein intake high when you're in a caloric deficit so you don't lose muscle mass along with the fat you are trying to get rid of. When combined with resistance training, consuming an increased amount of protein per day will help stimulate muscle protein synthesis and growth during a caloric deficit. The National Strength and Conditioning Association recommends resistance training individuals consume up to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. So this equates to roughly 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. You can safely consume more than 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day if you wish, but do realize the more you increase daily protein intake, the more you will need to lower the amount of carbohydrate and/or fat you consume to maintain a slight caloric deficit. The fourth point I want to make is that resistance training status plays a role. An individual that is new to resistance training, a newbie, will likely gain more muscle while in a caloric deficit compared to an advanced resistance trained individual who is trained for years and is in a negative energy balance daily. Now to the fifth caveat. This pertains to how much body fat a person has before they begin reducing their daily calories. If you are already pretty lean, say 10 to 15% body fat, it will be more difficult for you to gain muscle while in a caloric deficit versus someone that is starting their calorie-reduced diet in an overweight or obese state. My sixth and final point is regarding testosterone and anabolic steroids, also known as gear. If you're running gear, resistance training, and consuming high daily amounts of protein, you will be able to gain more muscle while in a caloric deficit than someone who is natural. I'm not here to advocate for or against the use of testosterone and anabolic steroids. I'm simply providing information to you. Please do remember, though, that testosterone and anabolic steroids are illegal unless prescribed by a physician. I want to also add that while you can gain muscle in a caloric deficit, the amount of muscle mass accumulated will most likely be less than what you could gain if your body was in a caloric surplus. However, if you are over-consuming too many calories each day, then you risk adding fat on top of that hard-earned muscle. I hope you enjoyed this Fitness Facts video. Thanks for watching.